Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up.
Oh my God, they let us hang out again in the same place, same time. Welcome, brand new studios. This is Run It Back. I will start, as always, with Shams Charania to my right. It's weird to just look at you right now. And then I get to look at Chandler. He and I are having some sweat problems. And then Eddie G on the end there, so we could talk a little NBA playoffs are about to start. But really, we can't even get to that because of the day that was yesterday and the weekend we just had. Boys, seriously, stop fighting. That's where we start. The Minnesota Timberwolves literally falling apart at the worst possible time, playing the Pelicans. Look, they beat the Pelicans, but nobody cares about that. They got the 8th seed. It's all fun and games. They're gonna face the Lakers in the play-in. But Rudy Gobert, Eddie, I'm just looking at you because this is your guy. You love him so much. Take us through what happened here.
I've been waiting all my life for two NBA players to fight in a game, and it was Rudy Gobert. Like, I don't know how I got blessed. Like, this is incredible. I can't believe this happened in a do or die. Like, they absolutely needed this game to move up in the play-in. And they're fighting on the court? Chandler, has this ever happened in your entire basketball life? This is absolutely insane.
I've never, first of all, Taurean Prince pushes him harder than any contact at this stage. So good for him. But no, I really haven't. I've seen Terps in like practice or in the locker room. I saw a crazy fight one time in Memphis, but this stage of the season too, with everything they're playing for, two vet like leaders on the team, like super uncharacteristic. Just knowing these two guys, obviously there's reports of what's being said and whatever, but you can't let your emotions get the best of you like this. And
not like that.
This is just, again, this time of the season with everything they're playing for going in, these aren't the headlines that you want to be talking about.
I can't believe we're starting with this, Shams, and it didn't end with what we saw on the court, right? Things kept going?
Yeah, so we saw what happened on the court, and part of it was also Rudy Gobert had a back injury. He really was not even supposed to play, from what I'm told. He plays. Listen, he had back spasms. That's something Kyle Anderson had missed time with this season. So it's ironic that now he's dealing with back spasms, and there was some level of pressure from teammates to play. So Rudy Gobert ends up playing, and then they go into the locker room at halftime. I'm told there was another heated altercation, heated exchange there. Didn't turn physical. Teammates separated them, but it ended in Kyle Anderson telling Rudy Gobert, I'll knock your bleep out. And thankfully they got separated. Mike Conley Jr., great vet. I know Chandler spent time with him in Memphis. He played a big part in terms of separating those guys, but this is a situation that the Timberwolves are dealing with right now. Kyle Anderson seems ready to move on from this, and it's a big play-in game that they're going to have against the Lakers. You need all your bodies. Naz Reid is not even, he's not playing. He's not going to be back anytime soon. They need help up front, so they have a game to win. So it seems in the direction that Rudy Gobert will be there, but the Timberwolves have a lot to sort through today.
And look, there's still more to get to, but I obviously have to ask you, should they suspend Rudy Gobert?
Well, they can't. They have a do or die game. They absolutely can't not suspend him. And if you're the Lakers, you're watching this closely going, what is about to happen with this guy? I watched this tape like the Zapruder film. Like, there's so many things. First off, this is happening above their coach's head, by the way. Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards are just watching like, huh? And then the way Taurean Prince pushes him, there's a little more to that. Let's not break these guys up.
Right?
That's like, yo, I want to get my hands on this guy too, push him away. This is deep-seated. This is something that's been bubbling for some time. You don't just be that upset with a guy. Look, you know you're on TV. This doesn't just happen on accident. And then the tape that comes out of halftime of slow-mo saying, yo, y'all got decisions to make this summer. The fact that it even got out is like, whoa, like, what are we talking about here? So there's a lot going on out there in Minnesota, and then they have to win a do-or-die game in 2 days against the Lakers. Like, look, I'm taking the Lakers. I'm hitting all the overs. I'm doing all that stuff because this looks terrible.
Yeah, and I got to say, obviously this was right there for the world to see, right? Everyone saw it, but the fact that this video of Kyle saying that leaked, that's another issue. You got to keep it in-house. You got to have trust. So whoever did that, I fully expect like an investigation in that person.
You think they'll be the same person that leaked the Draymond Green punch video?
Yeah, honestly,
same guy.
But you can't do that.
Well, none of it paints a good picture of Rudy Gobert standing within the team, right? Because even the Kyle Anderson quotes make it sound like he is not liked and perhaps not even really respected in that locker room.
Just look at what happened. They were down 12 I think, when he subbed out and that incident happens. They win by 5. They're 8-4 without Rudy Gobert this season. Oof. So this is a team that has shown without one of the bigs on the floor. I mean, to his credit, they've also played well at times with Cat out of the lineup. But without Rudy Gobert, they looked pretty good. The offense was flowing well. Anthony Edwards had more space to work with. Karl-Anthony Towns went off in the second half, and that was really what I think went underlooked or overlooked. He balled out, and you saw Draymond Green throwing shots.
There it is.
The pettiness.
The Petty Betty is right there. And by the way, if you don't remember, this is a drawback from a long time ago when Rudy Gobert had the exact same tweet. I do love that he remembers these things. That wasn't the only thing that the Timberwolves have to deal with now. Jaden McDaniels.
Another punch.
Oh, my goodness.
What was in the air yesterday? To me, this is even worse because it's 1,000% self-inflicted. And I have to ask Chandler the effect that this will have now on this must-win game for them.
Yeah, to me, this is way worse. This is a kid that's had such a great year. He's long, athletic. He's one of the better wing defenders in the NBA, and now you're looking at a matchup against LeBron James where this was going to be the matchup, right? And now this onus falls on Anthony Edwards, who is a great two-way player, but now he's going to have to do it on both sides of the ball. And this, I don't know what happened, what led to this, but you have to have the maturity. You can't get so frustrated to where you're now taking yourself out for the season when you're such a critical part of this team. Frustrated, I get, and clearly these guys care. They want to win, but you can't let your emotions get the best of you here. And now it's a huge hole that they have to somehow fill.
I feel like this is a conspiracy that the Lakers are going to win something. I don't want to be like the tinfoil hat guy, right? But this feels very much like the league's up to something, and I am on to everybody right now. Anthony Edwards, we should be talking about guys like Ant. We're not talking about him. He had a moment as well with a block on CJ. I hate that we're not talking more about that, but as far as being the leader that clearly this team desperately needs moving forward, Eddie, is he going to be the guy?
My tagline always with Anthony Edwards is the league is in good hands. Like, I don't know where the league goes in 5 years, but he's going to be a key player in that. He might not be the face of the league, but he might mess around and be the best player in the league. And that play that he made on the defensive end, and then he went and made a bucket on the other end, that was as clutch as it gets. They're literally playing for their season. Do we get further into the play-in? Do we fall back? Do we play on the road? There's so much on the line. For him to make that block on C.J. McCollum and then make a shot on the other end, it just shows you how great he is. They need him to play well on Tuesday. And the thing is, when Rudy Gobert is in the lineup, he takes way more threes. He drives way less, like statistically proven. And so now he's going to have more space with Karl-Anthony Towns, and it changes things. But I think Rudy's going to be out there, and they're going to muck it up in the paint a little bit more. But Anthony, his ceiling is like absolutely top of the league, best player in the league, and the plays like that are just exactly when you see how.
Yeah, listen, he's got the talent to do it. Like I just said, he can play on both sides of the ball too. And now a little bit more is coming on his plate with McDaniels out. But he's got the game. He's got the swag. He's got the confidence. He's likable. Guys are going to rally around him. And this is what makes the play-in so exciting. He just has to do it one time against a team that's the Lakers, that everything seems to be going their way right now, but we know the inconsistencies they have. So all it takes is him to go off one game, and they're in playing the Grizzlies. So it'll be exciting to watch. Isn't
it weird that Alex Rodriguez is like so bought into this team now and all this drama is happening? Yeah. It can't be a coincidence.
I mean, listen. He has no control over Rudy Gobert
feels like he does.
Doing what he does on the bench.
He should.
Jaden McDaniels punching the wall. But you know what I am curious about? A lot of Rudy Gobert playing or not, a lot of it depends on Kyle Anderson and his mentality and how he wants to approach it. My sense is he wants to move on. But Chandler, as a player, if that happened to you, what do you hold it on your teammate? Do you let him play?
Yeah, you have to, because again, this is a win or go home, or I guess they have another chance against the Pelicans or the Thunder, but there's no room for this. Like, obviously, there's what happened. They're grown-ups, they're men. These are two veteran guys, so I do think you can swallow it and get away with it and kind of move on, but again, now then you're setting that tone that you can literally punch your teammate in the middle of an NBA game and there's no consequences. So it's a sticky situation with everything at stake for them. Do they suspend one of their best players? We'll see.
Man, you would think that they would have to, and then it brings us to the Lakers. Beating the Jazz by a lot. LeBron had 36, 6 and 6. They're the 7 seed, so as we mentioned, they will be facing Minnesota in the play-in tournament, and now we've got all that turmoil coming out of Minnesota. The Lakers seem to be gelling. If you're me, at the worst possible time. If you're from LA, at the best possible time. But as far as like the chances you give this Lakers team, Chandler, given all of it,
Yeah.
how do you feel?
First of all, I think they beat Minnesota. Everything going around, I think they're peaking. They're playing good. We all talk about how much better they got at the deadline with D'Lo healthy, AD healthy, LeBron healthy. This team is hard to beat. I know you hate to hear that.
It's not great.
But again, this is. I think it's already a success of how they turn this season around. But let them go and advance and move on this playoffs, and then they're gonna get, Denver, Memphis. They're gonna get one of these teams. They can beat those in a series too. So it's very impressive what they've done and how far they've come from being kind of a laughingstock, all of us going at them all year long, to now they're sitting and controlling their own destiny to literally grab that 7th seed. It's pretty insane.
It's a little shocking still, Eddie. He said it's already been a success. Do you think it's already been a success, or does something else have to happen for that to be called?
They've had the best record in the West since the All-Star break. You see it. You can literally see on the court that they make way more sense. They surround LeBron and AD with shooters, with creators, and you can see this is an offense that's hard to deal with, and they defend. That's the thing. When you have Anthony Davis playing a championship level defense, you have a championship level defense. It's just that simple. When he can do all the things he does in the paint, when he can close out on shooters, we can do all that stuff, and then LeBron is motivated, they're a dangerous team. I think they'll beat the Grizzlies, and then they go into the next series.
What?
And you're looking at maybe the Warriors, and then you're talking about a whole different thing. But that is a tough team to deal with in this scenario. A one-and-done game at home. But I will say this: if we want to get a little negative,
Let's do it.
do or die, life and death game with none of the Suns, all of the Suns. I think they might have tossed me a jersey to get on the court. That went to the fourth quarter. Same thing with the Jazz last night. None of the Jazz. My guy, Walker Kessler, wasn't even out there. Do or die, and it went down to the wire. So, look, there's cracks there. I asked the question on Twitter, who's going to make jump shots in the playoffs for them? Jared Vanderbilt's going to have to play a ton of minutes, and he's not going to be the one who does it. Dennis Schroeder's going to have to play a ton of minutes for defense. He's not going to be the one who does it. Who's going to make jump shots for that team as everybody packs the paint against them? That's going to be what's interesting. The good thing for them, the Grizzlies are missing their two centers, Brandon Clark and Steven Adams, and it's hey, things are working out for the Lakers. I'm sorry for you.
Well, let me ask you this, and I ask it with all sincerity, of course. What is this in the middle of a game of the caliber that you just described?
I mean, hey.
No, what do you mean,
Heavy
hey?
is
I
the
mean,
head.
hey.
Heavy
He
is
had
the
8
head.
threes. I'll give him that. He was shooting 31% from 3 this year, 32%. Had a, breakout 3-point range game.
8 threes.
That was a rec league team.
7th seed. I don't know if that's necessarily the time to crown yourself when you
seed.
have, you're locked up to 7th seed. I don't know if that's the time, but do it once you beat the Grizzlies in the first round.
Okay, fine.
There
We
go.
could do
Crown
that.
them after that.
Then you can put your crown back on.
All right.
Oh, God.
They're
Clippers Suns.
8-1.
Wait, oh, God.
8-1. 8-1 Michelle.
I don't want to do the positive
let's keep
stuff.
going on the
They've
Lakers.
got the best record in the West since the All-Star break, but they're 8-1 with D'Angelo Russell, LeBron
Yeah.
James, Anthony Davis in the lineup. So when those guys are playing and they're healthy, but to me, every time I watch the Lakers, and I saw them on Friday night, when AD is playing at an elite level, this team is going to be a championship caliber team. It's those nights when he has 15 or 17 or 19 or 20. That's the onus that's on Anthony Davis. So if he's able to play at an elite level, 30 points or more, if he scores 30 points or more against the Timberwolves on Tuesday, if he's doing that against the Grizzlies, they have a legitimate chance. It's the off nights for them that they struggle.
Isn't it weird, though, when you have a guy like Anthony Davis that you have to take into consideration off nights? Why? That's
So
Off
frustrating.
nights happen, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they shouldn't necessarily for as many
you're right,
times.
You're right.
And this
Superstar.
game, it can't happen.
No,
It can't happen this
we
game
just
or the
point over here.
Grizzlies.
Yeah, okay.
This game.
Yeah.
So we have the brackets over here. If
Yeah.
you're wondering what we keep pointing to,
Yeah.
that's how we're being driven here. No, you're right. He can't afford to have one for the rest of this entire, however long this journey lasts. I would think. There it
There it
is.
is.
And it's
Oh,
a
I
tough
can't wait.
matchup. Jaren Jackson, who a lot of people feel is going to be the defensive player of the year, is going to be matched up right with him. And then Timberwolves, maybe we're seeing Rudy Gobert as his matchup. I'm pretty sure we are, but tough matchups for him. But I think he's the better player in both of those.
All right, you want to do some Suns?
Of course.
Of course. Clippers and Suns. Clippers did beat them. Kawhi with 25, 15, and 6. Westbrook had 25, 7, and 8. Clippers played for the win, the 5 seed, and they now get the Suns in the first round. They would have faced the Kings. It's almost like you question why not lose. But do you agree with the fact that they now have that 5 seed and now have to face the Suns?
I mean, Ty Lue came out and said after the game versus the Blazers, we're going to play everybody. We're going to play to win. I think they had the option of dropping into the play-in, which they obviously wanted to avoid. There's footage of him on the sideline asking, yo, what's the score in the Wolves game? Hearing the score, thinking if he should pull his guys. This game went down to the wire. If you're a Clippers fan, you got to say, yo, if they played it this close without KD, Devin Booker, CP3, and DeAndre Ayton, what are we doing when those guys play? But I love that they played it to the wire and played to win, and they didn't do all this jostling for playoff position. And you know, typically the basketball guys reward this. I don't think they're going to reward this in this situation. Yeah. They're going to have to play maybe the best team in the West and maybe the best player in the world, and it's a terrible matchup for them. Shams can tell us if PG isn't coming back. I know he's talking about announcing on his podcast if he's coming back. But if they've had to play this series without PG, like, what are we looking at that?
No, I mean, you're down. You're arguably your best player. And the Clippers are going into this series with the mindset that they're going to need to win this series, get past the series, to get him back into the lineup. Oof. So he just started the other day doing more treatment, more therapy on the court, kind of increasing his exercise level, but there's no contact work being done yet. There's no 2-on-2, 3-on-3, scrimmaging going on as of yet, from what I'm told. So they're going to have to get out of this series without him if they want a chance potentially to get him back at definitely 100%. So without him, I mean, it's going to be a tough climb. But Kawhi Leonard is playing at an elite level right now, and so I guess you have a chance if you have off nights from some of the Suns. I
gotta say, I respect it. Like Eddie said, you don't mess with the basketball gods. You don't try and outsmart the system. But these facts are facts. With Paul George, I think they can beat the Kings in a series. Without Paul George, I don't think they have a chance to beat the Suns. And you go from playing, you control your own destiny too here, and you had a chance to basically play the feel-good story of the year, Sacramento, that's just happy to be there, to now playing arguably the most dangerous team, in the NBA. So I respect them going for it and, playing their guys and trying to win as many games as possible. But at the end of the day, this was a poor decision because they would rather play the Kings.
Well, so let me ask you that, because nobody here seems to think they can beat the Suns without PG. So that seems to be across the board here. But as a player, like in your psyche, your mentality yesterday, are any of them thinking that? Or is it just we are out here to win games? It does not matter.
They're all thinking it, and the NBA did a great job scheduling the games at the same time, so you can't sit here and wait and see the outcome and the result. But yeah, for sure, if I'm Kawhi Leonard right now, I'd rather go up against, Kevin Huerter and Keegan Murray and these guys rather than going now against Kevin Durant. So it's definitely, as a player, you understand what's going around the league. You know who's tough team, who's soft, who you can go off against. And so I think they're confident enough to think they can hang with the Suns, but no, as player, coaches, fan, staff, I think everybody in LA would rather have seen the Kings.
Look, I've said it a million times, men and their emotions, am I right? They can't control them. And there was more of that in this game as well yesterday. What was the deal? Seriously, what was the deal? Why are Plumlee and Highland now getting into it, guys?
I mean,
twice.
See, this is interesting for me because I've never heard one bad thing about Mason Plumlee, right? And Bones Highland got traded from Denver because of his character. It had nothing to do with basketball. And now you're getting into a physical altercation with a well-respected vet in the league who was also with you in Denver. This is a bad look for Bones, and as talented as he is, talent only gets you so far. You look across all sports. Antonio Brown, he's unemployed because he has zero character in it. So Bones Highland, as good as he is, I love his game. He can shoot the ball. He's a critical piece to their postseason. But man, you can't go and do this, especially you on your second chance already. A team just moved you on your first deal. This is a bad look for him, and I don't care what's going on. I know the coaches probably love the passion, love that they care, but this is a bad look.
Eddie, you waited your whole life. You got two.
Two in the same day. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not a lip reader, but I guarantee you they're talking about defense. If I'm yelling at Bones Highland, I'm saying, yo, you killed me on the pick and roll defense just now.
Ooh.
And the funny thing about Mason Plumlee, he's like beloved around the league. Yeah. Everybody just understands he's the big fella and he's going to muscle you down there and he might give you a shot that you don't necessarily like, but they love the work ethic. So for him to have to talk to a young guy like this, you know Bones did something. And look at Dante Jones. He immediately grabs him like, Bones, what are you doing? But look, they ended up winning the game. It was a tense game for them. They were going all out for it. And it's not the greatest sign.
I hope they did.
We worked it out, guys.
Are they dating?
It's not the greatest sign that they went down to the wire with Ish Wainwright and the Suns that they were playing yesterday, but that's what they got. And look, now they got to play these guys for 2 weeks, and the big fellas are coming back. So, I'm confident going into it. I'm not on the Suns, but if you're the Suns, I feel like you're looking at this and going, all right, we got them right where we want them.
I feel like yesterday was a weird day for you, too. You're like, why are these
No, there was a lot going on. And, like, usually last day of the regular season, you're, like, gearing up for coach firings and things of that sort. And then, you have players getting into altercations on the bench. But, I mean, Bones Highland, like they spoke about, I mean, he had incidents like this in Denver. I think the edge that he plays with, I think there's a gift and a curse to that. Obviously, last night, yesterday he got into it with Mason Plumlee, who is a very well-respected veteran player. I don't think this will have the same carryover. This was not Rudy Gobert, though.
Right.
So I don't think there will be the same carryover as Minnesota.
Warriors, they had a little history yesterday, had 55 points in the first quarter. That was an NBA record. What a perfect time to do it. Curry with 26, 5, and 7. They beat the Blazers by a gazillion points. They know they're playing really well the last couple of weeks, and they know what's at stake. And so, quite simply, Chandler, are they peaking at the exact right time?
Yeah, they are, and they got the matchup that everybody wanted. So, they're getting healthy. Wiggins coming back. You can see how dangerous they are when they're shooting the ball like they are. There's still the issues of them on the road, and that plays Sacramento. It's going to be whamming in there. It's going to be loud. It's going to, and defensively they're going to have their issues still. They're not. I don't think there's a switch they can just flip on. But yeah, they're playing very well. They're getting healthy, and again, they got the team that they wanted all year long. So it worked out.
We've talked about this team, the light switch, I guess. I mean, the road thing is big, and they are going to possibly one of the most hostile environments that's been desperate for 16 years to be able to do this, Eddie. But worries, concerns, no problem first round?
Look, they've won 8 of the last 10. They're peaking at the right time. They're getting Andrew Wiggins back. I mean, Shams could tell us probably for game 1. We got a week now to figure that out.
They're hopeful for that.
They're going in the right direction. All of the jokes, all of the conversation about, the regular season for them, whatever, they figured it out just in time. And they got all their guys, and they're the most dangerous team in the league right now. They're the reigning champs. Like, don't forget that. They just won the title last year. Mm-hmm. They have all that firepower. They scored 55 points in the first quarter?
Crazy.
Like, I know that this isn't exactly playoff intensity from the Blazers here, but those are 5 NBA players out there trying to guard these guys. And that just explains their firepower. Clay hit his 303 of the season.
We need to give Klay Thompson love because he started the year off really slow. I think there were a lot of questions around him. Like Eddie just said, 300 threes, leading the league in three-pointers made. He became the 3rd player ever to have 300 threes or more in a season, joining Steph Curry and James Harden. So shout out Klay Thompson. He's playing at he's shooting the lights out right now. And I mean, I don't think I need to report. I think Draymond, I think they've been public with it. I think they wanted to play the Kings. Not because they feel like they can definitely beat them, but just geographically. I think it's a bus ride away.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, it is.
So I think from a comfortability standpoint, they're all for playing the Kings, and we'll see if they can take advantage.
When you say hopeful on Wiggins, is it?
Yeah, I think the plan was when he came back, sit him basically. I mean, he reported on Monday night, Tuesday of last week. If he plays their opener on Saturday, that gives you about a week and a half, and, almost 2 weeks of time to ramp up. And I think they feel like, once they get to game 1, he'll be there.
Guys, road trip to one of these games. Who's in?
Down.
I'm down.
I'm in too. I think that would be the most fun.
Get us our credentials. I'm ready.
We just need a party bus, guys. That's all we need. We're taking a quick break here. When we come back, this is the story I thought we'd be leading with, but then everything else happened yesterday. The Dallas Mavericks. How do we punish them? That is the question when Run It Back returns.
Run it back, run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back, run it up, and run it back, run it up, then run it back.
Oh, welcome back. Just laughing at nothing, really, quite frankly. So the Dallas Mavericks was the big thing, right? I was in New York over the weekend. People were angry, Shams. I even had tried to text you to get information on what was going to happen because they were so blatant about sitting everybody, and then they benched Luka very, very early. There were still things for them to be playing for, quite frankly. And then the fact is that they want to keep their top 10 protected pick. Knicks fans, livid. Chandler, what do you think about the fact that the Mavs didn't even bother trying to play for the play-in?
Yeah, I get it business-wise, right? Like you said, they're trying to keep their pick. They were tied with Chicago. That pick would have come over from the Porzingis deal. So I get it that way. Objective number one is to sign Kyrie Irving this summer, maintain your pick, and kind of go forward with a fresh start with a full training camp and a full season. The opposite, though, as a fan, you don't understand. You think we still have a chance to get in the playoffs. We have Luka, we have Kyrie. These guys can play, and it's basically kind of a loser mentality to not even try, right? So I get the frustration from them, and I get the frustration. I get the idea of Mark being like, this is a tall task. We're going to go into the play-in. We have to win a game. We have to win 2 games just to face Denver or Memphis in the first round. It was a tall task, so I agree with it business-wise, but I understand that this is gonna piss off a lot of people when they think they have a chance and they think they have enough talent that they can go in there and they can win the play-in tournament. So I see both sides, but it's definitely frustrating.
J-Kidd wasn't really, he basically was like, not my call. Not my call.
When you make that trade at the deadline and you say, we're bringing in Kyrie Irving, one of the most talented players of all time. We're talking about a guy, 30 years old, who's in the prime of his career. That's supposed to be a win now trade. That's supposed to be we're trying to compete this year trade. And we all know about their struggles. We all know what their record was. Obviously, they missed the playoffs. And look, at the end of the day, the Thunder won their final 2 games. So, it was all moot. It was all for naught.
Right.
Because they were going to miss out either way. But for them to say, we're shutting Kyrie down very blatantly, the fact that the NBA stepped forward and said, look, we got to investigate this. This is getting crazy. It's absurd. And Luka plays a quarter and what are we doing at this point? But look, they did what they needed to do. They're trying to protect the pick that they may have, and it's top 10 protected, I believe, and they need that pick. They gave up a pick and 2 second rounds going forward for Kyrie.
Disaster.
They're in a crazy hole right now, and they're gonna have a big summer coming up. And I know the rumor, and then the debunked rumor straight from Luka that he's not looking to leave. I don't care. I don't care what he says. I don't care what the rumor is. If that team is not good next year, it's nothing for Luka to say, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Send me anywhere.
And no one would be mad at it. I don't think anyone would be mad at it. Shams, they have really dug themselves a bit of a hole here. As far as the offseason, what's the main focus?
Well, the main priority is re-signing Kyrie Irving to a deal. They need his salary spot. There's really no other way for them to improve. Even if they did not, let's say they did not want to re-sign Kyrie Irving, there's really no way for them to make this team better. So bring him back on a deal if they can reach an agreement. Then you try to go into the trade marketplace. They have 2 first-round picks they can trade this summer. You have some salaries you can use. And then on the other, they're going to have a top 10 potential pick. You hope that you get some lottery luck and move up. And I know that's what the Mavericks, Nico Harrison, Mark Cuban, Jason Kidd, they're all praying that they get higher up and, compete with your Spurs to get Victor Wembanyama, potentially. But they're going to have a couple assets here to play with. The question is, though, are they going to make this team good enough this summer to be championship caliber? Do they have the pieces? If they go get I think when you look at this team, you prioritize going and getting a 4, 4-3 that can defend, play at a high level on both ends of the floor. We'll see if they can get it done.
Yeah, they got to re-sign Kyrie Irving, and then they do have to add they have to add the Jared Vanderbilts, the Jay Crowders. They need toughness. They need defensive wings. They need rugged guys. They don't have anybody like that on this roster that can kind of fill that void. So I agree the first order of business is to sign him. If you don't, and you had a 3-month lease on Kyrie Irving that it didn't work out, it could go down as one of the worst trades ever. So they have to re-sign him, and then they have to go in next season, this free agency, with 2 top 10 players going into their prime and kind of build around that. But they have to.
Why? Why do you have to re-sign Kyrie?
Well,
I understand that it's a disaster.
You already gave up so much. You gave up 2 starters. You gave up picks. It would all be for nothing if they didn't.
But what if it ends up being all for nothing because you feel like you have to make this move, and this move is ultimately what makes this team weak and Luka leave? What is the trade-off here?
I think Luka is more likely to leave if they don't re-sign him. I think Luka needs help. He needs talent. He needs a guy like Kyrie. He needs Jalen Brunson to relieve pressure.
Oh my God, that would have been so nice.
That
would have been great.
When you look at it on paper, you see, and they've had some highs with these 2 playing together. I think a full offseason, a full summer, a full training camp, they go into next season more positive than obviously how this season. And we never thought we'd be here talking about the Mavs. We were talking about the Lakers like this, and then they just switched.
Well, once they did the Kyrie thing, I think there were a big group of humans that thought, nope.
Expectations, though. I mean, once you get Kyrie Irving, you're expected with
I didn't
Luka
think that.
Doncic.
A lot of former players didn't think that either.
You're smarter than all of us. That's fine.
That goes without saying, but I'm talking specifically about this Kyrie situation. No, I remember thinking like this could be great, but I also think this could be absolutely disastrous. And here we are. It's a complete.
I think Mark
disaster.
Cuban said it in his media thing. I think they underestimated how much losing a guy like Dorian Finney-Smith and just the defenders that you need on a team. If you're catering around 2-star players in Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving that clearly are offensively focused, you need to surround them the right way. And I think they were missing that depth and the defensive nuances that I think you need from if you're going to build around those two guys. I
mean, we said it when they made the trade. They traded their best defender for a minus defender. Love Kyrie and everything he does, and he actually played incredible for them. He was 27 points a game. He shot 51%.
40, 90.
Just not
39% from three and like 94% free throw. He was incredible. He was the best version of Kyrie you can ask for. But he cannot guard the best perimeter players in the league. He just is not that guy. You trade away your best defender, you're going to hurt. You're giving up 130 points to the Miami Heat, the lowest scoring team in the league, in a game you absolutely have to win. Like, this is what you bought into by trading away your best defender for somebody who's a minus defender. And look, you got a ton of great things from Kyrie, but you were never going to get defense. And now, like Shams says, you have to think about that this summer. You have to look at the Jared Vanderbilts of the world, the Jaden McDaniels of the world. We need like 3 of those guys. Yeah. And they need to defend everybody for these guys, and they need to hit threes. And I don't know that they can put that together this summer.
Right.
But they need to aim towards putting that together, because these are two legendary talents between the two guys they have at the top of the food chain. And you have to surround them with exactly what they need, and we'll see.
Look, Chandler, I know everyone's going to say the right things, right, especially right now, but truth serum to Cuban. How concerned is he really about losing Luka at some point here?
Well, he still has time. And again, that's why this summer is so valuable, because you have to prove to him that we are for real and we are going to give you the pieces and the assets to contend for a championship, because when this contract's up, he's going to have the option to leave. And I don't think it's crossed his mind yet. I think he's a very passionate kid. He plays hard. He wants to win. But as much as he wants that, he wants help. And a guy like Kyrie Irving, how he's played great this year, again, now it's building with these two guys going forward, getting those other pieces, getting actual reliable bigs, getting wing defending guys that are tough, that can relieve pressure, that allow these guys to go do what they do on the offensive end. And so I think, again, another season like this, then I'd start worrying. Right now, you still have time.
I don't think
he's going to be going to the second year of a 5-year Supermax contract. I think they were just in the Western Conference Finals last year. Getting Kyrie Irving, I think, satisfied that secondary star. Now the onus is really on Mark Cuban and Nico Harrison. How are you going to surround those two guys?
He's making $50 million living in Uptown Dallas. He's
Chandler, tell us about that.
Is that good?
Tell us about that.
It's a good deal?
Listen, it's not a bad gig. They have time.
No state tax. Yeah, it's not that bad. But he could also be a Knick. That'd be kind of fun.
He could be a Miami Heat.
He
50 million.
These are fun
works
cities.
well in Miami as well.
It also works there. Taking a quick break. When we come back, the most disrespectful moments that a man could possibly endure when that man has a family. Run It Back returns.
Run it up, run it back, yeah. Run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back, run it.
Oh, I love mocking things, 11-year-old kids, the Northern Kentucky Gronk. These are all things I love to mock, but more importantly, thank you. You owe me $5. Dunks. Dunks are where it really happens. It's where disrespect takes it to a whole new level, and it's time for That Man Has a Family. But we have a little bit of everything, I think, today. Jalen Green, you're up first. God, I love that court, by the way. I don't care. Oof.
First of all, he splits the pick and roll. He kind of bobbles it going up. This is a nasty, nasty dunk. This kid has bunnies.
Yeah, that's what he does.
Not the most serious.
That's who he is.
Not the most serious basketball of all time going on between the Hornets and Rockets in April. But
how dare you?
Nice dunk. I mean, I love JG. I think he's got a great future in the league. So I'd like to see his highlights. That's cool.
I think that whole Rockets team is quite fun to watch in person. It may not be a great record, but
who's the kid that got drafted where he said there's 3 years away from being 3 years away? That's what the Rockets are, though.
Jay Scrubb, the greatest sports name in history.
Oh, no. Oh, Jay Scrubb with the lefty banger.
Nice body.
No scrub, no more.
Chandler, who is that person he's dunking on?
Who's the person dunking?
I mean, these are all good questions that we don't have answers to.
Oh, I know. Yeah, no,
I don't know. One of these guys.
No, the one kid, he
was this on the final day of the regular season?
Yeah, he was in the Final Four a couple years ago. Getting dunked on.
Oh, there you go.
Virginia. He went to Virginia.
Oh, we're almost there, guys.
Okay.
We're almost got an answer.
Right.
Keep it going. You're almost
the
there.
consummate professional. Who is this guy?
Research.
Shams, where did Jay Scrubb go to college?
J Scrub went to.
He's on it. Hold on, his computer's
Hey,
down.
Siri.
Leave him alone.
You typed that into Google just now.
Siri
We
won't
still don't have
even.
an
Siri won't even know the answer.
By the way, this is a very rare Aaron Gordon on the receiving end moment.
Say that name.
Nope.
Say that name.
Agabaji.
Agbaji.
He had a nice
Try.
game against the Lakers. He's defending.
It is.
That's
Okay,
tough.
yeah, no, I like that actually.
Yo, they really threw Aaron Gordon into the fire the last week of the season. Said, yo, we're not playing anybody, but go do everything, my guy.
right?
Good
This
luck.
is also the risk
Cardio.
you're willing to take when you try the LeBron chase down block.
Yeah.
It goes one of two ways.
Baisley.
Bays.
Oh,
I like this. Bays. Backup center Bays.
Isn't Zubats on like a lot of these?
yeah. Well,
Oh, I see what you're doing, Chandler. I see what you're
when
doing.
you try to block, you get dunked on. It's fine.
Yeah, but we shouldn't be punishing him or mocking him for effort.
Oh no, we're gonna mock him.
Okay, fair.
Like, look
Yeah, I just-
look at what he's got dealing with right here.
I forgot what we were doing.
Won
Right.
the game though. Shout out to D.
that's when
Bays.
you get mad at Russ for the poor closeout. That's when a big guy gets
Good
mad.
point.
It's like the blow
No
by.
cutoff there
Yeah.
at all. And that's a guy who's not shooting that shot.
That's
like,
nasty,
come on,
dude.
Russ.
Yeah, you gotta know scouting room.
Darius Baisley can jump though. He's had some nice stuff.
Ooh, Nora.
Oh.
Wait, is this my favorite one of the group so far?
Marvin Bagley, like, not the greatest contest of all time. Like, come on.
But even
guys.
without it, it's still fun to look at.
Newsflash: Noir is not on the Bucks anymore. He's on the Pacers.
You weren't awake during trade deadline day.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What month are we?
That was a
Chandler.
blockbuster, Chandler.
Yeah.
You missed it.
I missed it. I was in Cabo.
I'm just proud that you knew he was on the Bucks at all.
Right.
Like that's actually
Give me
half the
some
battle,
credit.
isn't it? I feel like we're good.
My guy Bags, number 2 overall pick, picked in front of Luka. Maybe block that one.
That's
Maybe block
not-
that one, my guy.
That's a bad reminder. If you're him, you never want anyone to bring that up, I suppose. Shoo.
This was insane.
Minga.
This was nasty.
Ruh-roh.
This.
Okay, I'll take that. That might be my favorite one.
Not exactly playoff defense from the Blazers, but whew,
There was a business decision made by the kid getting out of the way underneath the hoop.
couple
here.
business decisions.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
Hezzy was not
God,
all
nice.
that, bro.
Look at the Ben's reaction.
No, it's fun. I like that one. That one's fun.
I
Maybe
like
that might be my favorite
They're
one.
literally up 50 points. Like, whatever.
Ooh.
Take whatever you can get at that point. Kobe 6.
By the way, shout out the fans still in the building. Keegan Murray against
Ooh.
all of Denver.
That's nice. That's a nice little bump.
All right.
The 2 feet dunks for me.
Who is that, Casey? No, that's not Casey.
That
Who's
is.
he dunking on?
Yeah,
It doesn't matter.
I don't know.
It's all of Denver. Can you not read? It's
Yeah.
Denver.
You see? See how the producers did it? We don't know who that is either.
pass,
Where's-
Alex
this ain't
Lynn.
Denver.
I feel like there's 4 Charles Barkleys up
Alex
here.
Lynn minutes.
Keegan Murray, the all-time leader in rookie three-pointers made. Shout out.
Great.
Look at Shams didn't know where Scrub went to college.
I
He's
know,
just
wait,
throwing out facts.
Did we get that, by the way? Do we know where
He's
Scrub
like
went to
Keegan
college?
Murray is a Virgo, and he's hit a lot of threes.
Okay, fair enough.
You play with Alex Lynn in Atlanta?
I did for like
He was
2
your
weeks.
young fella for a minute?
Yeah, somewhat. You know what? He was number 25, and he would not give me number 25
Wow.
when I got traded.
I wouldn't
there.
give you
How
anything.
much did
I
you
don't even-
offer to pay him?
There was a negotiation.
got up there?
and
5 figures,
which
6
would have
figures?
been the worst deal ever because I think I saw my jersey like 5 times.
I'm hanging up the
Chandler's the
Chandler
American
Atlanta
dream.
Hawks in the house. I'm doing that.
Your
Come on,
actual, yeah.
get you a 31 Parsons Hawks
You
jersey.
sign it for me? You
I
sign
don't
it?
know if you can get one, honestly.
I'll make
Are we
it.
doing
It's
you
cool.
buying that? Should we do some? Oh, speaking of people with a lot of jerseys, actually one, Udonis Haslem. I kind of love this. It's his regular. How many do you think he owns? But he has the one regular season game. He's finally played it. It's over with. He did have 24 points in it, by the way. He's a 3-time champ. 20 seasons with the Heat. That's hard to do. Are you buying that his jersey should be retired?
Yes, I am. Just because of the longevity, because of the loyalty, because of
Like it.
the leadership, everything he's brought to that organization. I mean, 3-time champ, 20 seasons. That alone will get you up in the rafters with the Miami Heat greats. One of the best Gators of all time. He deserves it, and it's sad to see him go, but he was balling in his last game. He was
Right?
dunking, 2 feet, 2-hand lobs, hitting threes.
Look at the gray.
UD, shout out, you're a GOAT, you're a legend.
Wait, I can't imagine them not retiring it, right?
They have
They
to.
have to.
Feels weird to say that.
And
out
he will
loud.
have a job next year on that staff, whatever he wants to do.
Yeah, he'll be forever a Heat.
Yeah, I don't think he's destined for the
Heat.
bench. I think he's destined for bigger things in an organization, and that's dope for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, your Gator brother
Yeah.
went out. I laughed with Shams yesterday. I said, yo, they actually have to play another home game in a few days, and maybe he's not going to play that one. But I love him getting the swan song in Game 82, despite the fact that they're playing Game 83 in Miami. I get it. It's cool.
Because you just don't know.
Yeah, you never know. He's not going to see the floor in the play-in game. Like, he should not.
Be cool.
I mean, he got a lob dunk. How many? He had 13 points in the first quarter.
He was going.
He had 4 threes.
It was gonna be like D Wade. Remember when D Wade was just shooting shots in Barclays? His final game.
D Wade put the jersey on backwards. D Wade, we know who wears 40 in Miami. You can put it on the front way.
Part of me thinks they wouldn't be in the play-in if they gave UD some minutes early on this season, Shams. There's something here. Underused.
Underused.
Look at him.
You go. Miami bias.
Get
Let's
up.
see what's going on.
Bro, he's 42.
I mean, that's not bad.
He had 24 points.
He's in great shape. He's like the best shape of his life, by the way.
Yes.
Like, if you look at him, he took his shirt off in the locker room. He's in great shape.
Of course he's in great shape. I love that he doesn't try to dye the grays out of the beard.
Oh, yeah, he just
that's a bad move. You don't want to do that. Nobody likes that.
No, just be a gray beard. It's fine.
I think it looks cool and distinguished. Men can do that. Giannis, first player in NBA history, by the way, to average over 30 a game, 10 rebounds, and 5 or more assists on 55% shooting. He's also done 17 more exclusive interviews, which is amazing because I don't know what that word means. Eddie, are you buying he's the best basketball player on the planet?
No, but I enjoyed the exclusive, the next exclusive interview. I shout out to Chris Haynes. Like, he's done 10 exclusives and said the same thing. And Giannis is right. Like, what the hell is the MVP at this point? But is he the best player in the world? You guys know I'm biased. You guys know,
we know
who I think is the best player in the world right now. It's 35 in Phoenix. Giannis is next. He's right there. You cannot argue against his production, but look, I get it, Giannis. You feel like you should be the MVP. You're not gonna be.
Not gonna beg for it.
You've been telling us for 2 months. We get it. It's cool. It's not an exclusive. Don't gotta call it that.
Chandler, you look pensive. Is he the best basketball player?
I think he is, and I think he has been the last couple of years, and he's not my favorite. Like, I'd much rather watch KD play. I'd much rather like Joel. I love a lot of these other guys' games better, but when you look at what he does and how he dominates, the physicality, him in transition, he's doing this without being able to hit jump shots. It really is impressive, and for whatever reason, we do sleep on him a little bit, and he was on the best team all year long, the best player, and he's been doing this for a really long time. So if I'm taking a draft right now, number 1 pick, I'm going Giannis.
I kind of like that. By the way, to be argued whether or not you're the best player, that's not a bad place to live.
Yeah.
I mean, he has a case. I mean, he definitely has a case, for sure.
Have you voted for MVP?
I have a vote.
You're not gonna tell us? You're gonna spoil
tell
us?
us
I don't
the
even
air?
know yet. I'm gonna take all my time.
Are you gonna procrastinate till the very last second? Oh, for God's sake.
There's only one pick
I'm a
here,
procrastinator.
Shams.
Yeah, I know, I actually am too. But still, I want to know. Look, this is a kind of a nice one. Since 1962, this has not happened. That's how you know it's important. An NBA record 6 players averaged at least 30 points a game this season. 6. Having multiple 30-point per game players is a good thing for the league?
I think so. I think it's great for the fans. I think it's great for the ratings. It's more fun to watch. I got to say, if you told me SGA was going to average 31.4 points a game, that is an insane season. This kid's an absolute star. But yes, I think it shows the talent that there is. I think it shows the the pace that they play with, the way they shoot the three-pointer now. I think older guys are rolling their eyes at, the non-defense and the toughness and the foul calls. But I think it's great for the game, and the talent is higher than it's ever been.
I can't imagine that's a bad thing.
Don't forget, KD, Steph, they're right there, 29 in a decimal. They didn't qualify for this. They missed a bunch of games. Injury, they're right there. So we're talking 8 guys. Look, I kind of scoff a little bit at some of these stats. I see games that are 102, 103 in the third quarter, and I go, what? But still, 30 points a game. Like, that has been a benchmark since basketball has begun. And to go out there and do that for 82 games, you can't dismiss that in any way. And so shout out to those guys. Tatum, first Celtic ever to do that as well, just average 30 points a game. And SGA, like you said, one of the best guards in the league, getting the love he deserves.
We also talk about it all year. You'll see like an over-under on like a prop bet of like 37 points.
Yeah.
And you take the over and you win. Like, it's insane. It used to be like 25, 26 was like buckets. Now it's insane.
That's to me, it's kind of insane too that 37. We've done that a few times, although our picks are not good, so I don't know.
Yeah,
if maybe
usually ours don't hit.
I don't know if that's like a good example for us to be putting out there right now. I can't imagine anyone complaining that this is a bad list to have. Although now knowing that it's going to just get longer and longer as the seasons go on, which is partly how it happens. We're gonna take a quick break right here. When we come back, should the top seed in each conference have the ability to choose their opponent? Playoff edition of Convince Me when we return.
Run it up, run it back, run it up.
Well, we left you with a heck of a tease, and I really actually am excited to get to it because Chandler, you're up first on a little playoff edition of Convince Me. The first one up, the top seed in each conference should get to pick their opponent in the first round.
I really like this. If you have the best, most consistent year, you should have the option. And I think, you know what it would create? It would create the most personal, offensive rivalry beefs ever. Because if I'm the Bucks and I, happen to pick the Nets, even though they're a 5 seed, not the 8 seed, you know how rattled I am that they think so less of me that they're gonna go and draft me to play in the first round because we're such an easy cakewalk to the next round. I love it, and I think they honestly should implement this starting next season.
I do too. Is anyone up here against this idea?
No, that's the version I love of it too. Like, yo, we're the 1 seed. I'm looking at the 8 seed, but I actually want the 3 seed because they stink.
Give us
and
the
I know we can
give us
beat
the
them.
2 seed just because we want to knock them out early.
Give us the 2 seed.
I love that.
Yeah.
Let's make that happen. Adam Silver, come on, let's make that happen.
Yeah, do you have
New CBA?
New CBA is already signed, sealed, and delivered, so there's no way to implement this change, unfortunately.
Oh, man. Okay, the next one. Next.
No fun.
All right, Eddie, convince me that the NBA should have a March Madness-style playoff. All 30 teams would participate, win in advance, lose and go home.
Could you imagine the regular season mattering even less than it matters now? Like, this is what we're setting up here. But I kind of love the idea of, like, the Nuggets playing, I don't know, the Mavericks in a game that they just cannot afford to lose. And then losing that, like, you can't replicate March Madness. But a one-and-done NBA game, that's why I love the play-in. We were talking about this before the show. I love the play-in. I'm sorry.
I do too.
This would create kind of that Cinderella. Like, imagine if the Pistons just got
Or the
hot for like a month
Spurs.
with the Spurs, and they win 8 games all year, and then they win the finals. That'd be kind of cool.
If the race to Sace, banners, of course, was the Spurs as a Cinderella story, that would be what? You don't like that?
No, I like that.
That's
Race
what
to
we
Sace.
live by that motto in San Antonio.
I love it.
Yeah, drive
I
to
love
5,
that this
finish
exists.
it. It exists and it's
with
awesome.
the worst team in the league. I love that this
Second.
exists. Oh.
Convince. Shams is over here doing. I'm just gonna ignore Shams. He's like, I hate them. I'm gonna do work. Convince me that when a team wins a playoff series, Chandler, I love this. They should get to take one player from the team they just beat.
This is amazing.
That's actually pretty cool too. Imagine if the Bucks beat, the Nets, and you could just take on. I don't even know who they'd want anymore, but
Bridges.
I'll
take Bridges.
Yeah, take Bridges, and then it makes the talent better. It makes each round by the finals. It's basically an all-star game.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
We can't do this?
Can we do
It's too
any
late?
of these? Shams,
This
when
is
does the
amazing.
next CBA happen?
You know how motivated
CBA
I
2029.
Oh, we're all gonna be dead.
like
that.
Like
You know how
that's like
motivated
100
I'd
years
be to
from
beat
now.
the Sixers and say,
Spurs will
give me
still be in
Joel
the lottery
Embiid?
at
Like, what are we
29.
doing?
Imagine, I guess you have to give one up. Okay, that's fine. All right, Eddie, convince me that the night before the play-in tournament begins, the 2 teams with the worst record should play for first pick in the draft.
I actually love this idea.
Shams is back!
I like that. I like that.
Like, why don't
This
we
is a
have this?
quasi-play-in tournament.
They
So
should.
They should play this
Spurs,
game at like
Pistons.
11 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh, I would 100%.
Imagine the tanking to get into this game. And then the amount of, like, anti-taking
But
to win this game.
the loser of this game gets the last pick.
No. Well,
there's some weight.
Put real
Yeah, there
stakes.
is some
Let's
weight
put
to
real
it then.
stakes on
Because
it.
who cares if it's the second?
So the winner gets the number 1 pick.
yeah.
Yeah, so Spurs
Of the
would play
2.
Detroit tonight.
You might have the best NBA game of all time.
I would be zeroed
It'd be the
in on
most
this game
watched
right now.
for
Are
sure.
you kidding me? I would miss a second of this
I would
game.
not miss a second.
Neither would he.
This might be the best idea that we've come up with.
Seriously.
this.
Honestly, these are my 4 favorite topics.
Not
honestly.
one of these to me
I like
was bad.
all these should be implemented. Yeah.
We're so
He should-
easy.
He should be there. Like, he should be courtside.
He
Like,
should get
let's-
to. He should,
At the Pistons Spurs
Him,
game?
Scoot, Miller, like, they
Yeah, they should all be
courtside.
invited.
we should let him play on one of the worst teams in.
No.
See what's the better fit.
No, because if he gets hurt, then the winner
Yeah.
is going to be very, very
And he
angry.
goes to like 5th.
Yeah,
and
no,
that team's the real winner.
I don't want that at all. You guys, this is our first day back in LA. Anybody have any big plans for the West Coast here? I know.
Sleep.
Okay, you know what?
You guys want to come over? We can have dinner. You bailed last time, so you're not.
Yeah, Michelle,
Yo, we have
you
to
owe
do-
us. You owe us a couple
Oh,
hours. of your
we're
time.
out of time.
She
we
definitely
we have
Hollywooded
KD
us.
on Wednesday?
With Katie on Wednesday.
I feel like we're jinxing it by getting too excited.
We'll Zoom him.
Is that going to help?
7 a.m. I don't like, yo.
Oof, you barely
we
made
have
it.
him on
How's
the
he
show.
gonna make it?
Waking him up at 7 a.m.
I don't
It's a
forget.
tough-
I
tough
didn't forget
sell.
what he
Start
said to
today.
me. How rude he was.
Oh, that's why we're having him.
Yeah,
You kidding me?
exactly.
That's going to do it for us
I got
today.
something to say to him.
We will be back tomorrow Hopefully. See you guys then. That'll be awesome.
Run it back, yeah. Run it up, run it back like a running back. She knowing all over.